For 15 years, sports journalist Dave Martinez built his career on one thing: destroying Manny Pacquiao's reputation. Every article, every interview, every opportunity he had, he used to tear down the Filipino boxing legend. But when he finally got the chance to meet Pacquiao face-to-face for what he planned to be the most brutal interview of his career, something happened that would completely shatter everything he believed about the man he had spent over a decade hating. What Pacquiao revealed in that room didn't just change Dave's mind, it changed his entire life. Dave Martinez's hatred for Manny Pacquiao had roots that stretched back to 2008. Back then, he was a young, ambitious sports reporter looking for his big break. After watching Pacquiao defeat Oscar de la Hoya, Dave wrote his first critical piece, "The Pacquiao Myth: How Media Creates False Legends." The article brought Dave significant attention. People enjoyed seeing Pacquiao from a different perspective. Dave became so intoxicated with this success that he made Pacquiao criticism his personal brand. After every fight, following every victory, Dave would publish a new critical piece. "Pacquiao is just a lucky boxer," he would write in his articles. "A media-created image. The real talent lies with Floyd Mayweather." As the years passed, Dave's articles became even harsher. He criticized Pacquiao's political career, called his charity work insincere, and even claimed his family was being used for show. Dave Martinez had become known as Pacquiao's biggest critic. But what Dave didn't know was that Pacquiao had been reading all these articles, all 127 of them, every single one. Sometimes he would feel sad, sometimes angry, but he never responded. "Everyone has a right to their opinion," he would tell those close to him. But inside, his curiosity about meeting Dave was growing. In 2023, Dave's editor called him in. "Dave, big news. Pacquiao's team wants to do an exclusive interview with you. Only condition, just you and him, nobody else." Dave's heart raced. He had been waiting for this opportunity for 15 years. Finally, he could corner Pacquiao and expose his true face. "Perfect," Dave said. "Finally, I'll expose that fraud." Dave prepared for weeks. He crafted the toughest questions, researched all of Pacquiao's weaknesses. This interview would be the pinnacle of his career. The meeting was planned for a small room on the 12th floor of a luxury hotel in Manila. Dave arrived early, running final checks with the cameraman and sound technician. Inside him was a strange excitement. Finally, he would face his 15-year enemy. At exactly 3:47 p.m., there was a knock on the door. Pacquiao entered. Dave's first shock was Pacquiao's size. He appeared bigger on television. His second shock was the genuine smile on the man's face. Dave had expected someone aggressive, but Pacquiao looked like he was greeting an old friend. "Mr. Martinez," Pacquiao said, extending his hand, "it's an honor to finally meet you." Dave was surprised. "Honor? After everything I've written about you?" "Especially because of what you've written," Pacquiao said, sitting down. "You made me think. You made me question myself. That's valuable." Dave couldn't deliver the aggressive opening he had planned. Instead of defending himself, this man was praising him. "Let's start with the obvious question," Dave said, trying to regain his composure. "How do you respond to critics who say your career has been overhyped by media?" Pacquiao nodded thoughtfully. "You know, Dave, can I call you Dave? I think they might be right in some ways." Dave had expected someone defeated, but this honesty surprised him. "I never asked to be called the greatest," Pacquiao continued. "I just wanted to fight good fighters, provide for my family, help my people. If media made me bigger than I am, that's not my fault. But it's not my achievement either." Dave's prepared aggressive questions were becoming meaningless. Instead of defending himself, Pacquiao was accepting the criticisms. "But you must be angry about the things I've written," Dave said. "Some of them were pretty harsh." Pacquiao smiled. "Angry? Number sad sometimes, yes, but angry, never. You see, Dave, I grew up very poor. When you have nothing, you learn that words can't hurt you unless you let them. But I questioned your integrity, your achievements, and you had the right to do that, Pacquiao said. But tell me something, Dave. What made you so angry with me? I don't think I ever did anything to you personally. This question caught Dave off guard. In the interview, he was supposed to be asking the questions, not Pacquiao. I wasn't angry. I was just doing my job. For 15 years? 127 articles? There was compassion in Pacquiao's eyes. That's a lot of energy to spend on someone you don't care about. Dave felt uncomfortable. I just think boxing needs honest criticism. You're right, Pacquiao said. But tell me about yourself, Dave. Are you married? Do you have children? Why does that matter? Because, Pacquiao said, leaning forward, I want to understand the man behind the words. For 15 years you've written about me, but I know nothing about you. Something strange stirred inside Dave. He was supposed to be directing this interview, but Pacquiao had taken control. I was married, Dave said quietly. Divorced 5 years ago. I'm sorry to hear that. Children. We tried. It didn't work out. Pacquiao's expression changed. That must have been very painful. Dave didn't know how to respond. No one had ever asked him this question in this way. You know, Dave, Pacquiao said, I read all your articles, even the ones where you called me a fraud, a lucky puncher, a media creation. And you know what I noticed? What? The angrier your articles got, the more pain I could feel in them, like someone who was hurt trying to hurt others. Dave's eyes began to moisten. That's ridiculous. Is it? Pacquiao's voice was very soft. Dave, when did you start feeling like you weren't good enough? This question struck Dave deeply, because it was true. Every Pacquiao article, his failed marriage, the pain of not being able to have children, not reaching where he wanted in his career, it was all connected. Dave's voice was trembling. I don't understand what this has to do with boxing. Everything, Pacquiao said. You see, Dave, I think you never hated me. I think you hated what I represented. Success that came from nowhere. A poor boy who made it. Something you wanted but couldn't have. Tears began to stream from Dave's eyes. The pain he had suppressed for 15 years was surfacing. When I was very young, Pacquiao continued, I was so hungry that I ate cardboard boxes. My mother worked multiple jobs, but still we had nothing. I was angry at the world, angry at God, angry at everyone who had more than us. Dave listened, trying not to cry. But you know what I learned? Anger is just sadness wearing a mask. And when you're angry at someone's success, you're really sad about your own struggles. Why are you telling me this? Dave whispered. Because, Pacquiao said, I think you're a good man who's been carrying too much pain. And I think maybe God put us together today not for a fight, but for healing. Dave could no longer hold himself back. Years of anger, disappointment, pain, all of it flowed out as tears. I wanted to be like you, Dave said, crying. I wanted to matter. I wanted people to see me and say, there goes somebody special, but I'm nobody. I'm just a failed journalist who can't even keep his marriage together. Pacquiao got up and sat next to Dave. Dave, listen to me. You are somebody special. Do you know how many people have read your articles over the years? To hate you. No, to think, to question, to analyze. You made people think deeper about sports, about success, about what really matters. That's a gift, Dave. Dave looked up. But I was wrong about you. Maybe about some things, right about others, Pacquiao said. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is what happens next. I don't understand. Pacquiao smiled. Dave, I have an idea. Instead of fighting each other, what if we work together? What do you mean? I mean, Pacquiao said, what if the man who knows my weaknesses better than anyone became the man who helps me be better? What if my biggest critic became my honest advisor? Dave looked at him in astonishment. Are you serious? Dead serious. Dave, I need someone who isn't afraid to tell me the truth, someone who won't just say what I want to hear. For 15 years, you've been holding up a mirror to me. Sometimes I didn't like what I saw, but it was always honest. But I was your enemy. Enemies can become friends, Dave, especially when they share the same goal, which is making sure I be the best version of myself I can be, in boxing, in life, in helping others. Dave couldn't say anything. His life's biggest enemy was offering him his life's biggest opportunity. Think about it, Pacquiao said. No more attacking me from the outside. Come work with me from the inside. Help me be the champion you always said I should be. Thousands of thoughts flooded Dave's mind. Was this possible? After 15 years of enmity, could such a friendship exist? Why? Dave asked. Why would you want to help someone who spent years trying to destroy you? Pacquiao's answer was simple. Because I think God has a sense of humor, and because I think you and we're more alike than different. How? We both came from nothing. We both fought for everything we have. We both made mistakes, and we both want to matter. Dave took a deep breath. If I accept this, if I work with you, people will say I sold out. They'll say you bought me off. Let them talk, Pacquiao said. You know the truth. I know the truth. That's all that matters. Dave thought for a long time. Then he asked, what exactly would I do? Be my reality check. When everyone around me says, yes, sir, you say, wait, think about this. When I make stupid decisions, you call me out. When I fight, you tell me what I did wrong. Be the voice of honesty in a world full of yes men. Dave felt a strange warmth in his heart. For the first time in 15 years, someone truly needed him. And you really believe this could work? Dave, Pacquiao said, looking into his eyes, I've been reading your work for 15 years. You know me better than most of my own team. You see things others miss. Why wouldn't it work? Dave wiped his tears. This is insane. The best things usually are. They stayed in that room for 2 hours and 36 minutes. The interview camera stopped rolling, but the conversation continued. Dave told Pacquiao about his childhood, his failures, his fears. Pacquiao shared his own struggles, doubts, and weaknesses. When the two men left that room, they returned to the world as different people. That night, Dave sat down to write his article in the hotel. But he didn't know what to write. For 15 years, he had criticized Pacquiao. Now, how would he defend him? Finally, he wrote with this headline, I was wrong about Manny Pacquiao, and that's okay. In the article, Dave described his experience with Pacquiao, his own prejudices, and how people can change. The article went viral. Some criticized Dave, others praised him. But Dave no longer cared. 3 months later, Dave joined Pacquiao's team. His official title was Strategy Advisor, but his real role was more important, being the only person who told Pacquiao the truth. Dave's first job was to evaluate Pacquiao's next fight selection. Promoters were suggesting an easy opponent, but Dave objected. This is exactly what I used to criticize you for, Dave said, taking easy fights instead of challenging yourself. Pacquiao smiled. You're right. What do you suggest? Fight the toughest opponent available. Win or lose, at least you'll know you didn't take the easy way out. Pacquiao listened to Dave's advice. He chose the tough opponent, had a close fight, and won. In the post-fight interview, he said, I couldn't have won this victory without Dave Martinez's advice. The media was surprised. Dave Martinez had become one of Pacquiao's closest advisors. But the real change happened in both men's personal lives. Dave became part of Pacquiao's family. Pacquiao's children began calling him Uncle Dave. For the first time in his life, Dave felt he had a purpose. One day, Pacquiao asked Dave, "Any regrets?" "About those 15 years?" Dave thought. "You know what? Number, because those 15 years brought us here. If I hadn't criticized you so much, we wouldn't have had this conversation. If you hadn't been strong enough to forgive me, I wouldn't have learned to forgive myself." "So you think it was all meant to be?" "I think," Dave said, "sometimes the people who challenge us the most are the ones we need the most." 2 years later, Dave wrote a book about Pacquiao. The title was From Hate to Healing: How My Enemy Became My Friend. The book became a bestseller, and their story inspired people worldwide. In the book's final sentence, Dave wrote, "I spent 15 years trying to prove Manny Pacquiao was not a champion. In the end, he proved to me what a real champion looks like, not by defeating me, but by saving me." Today, Dave still works on Pacquiao's team. He now advises not only on boxing, but also on Pacquiao's political career and charitable work. Dave's critical perspective helps Pacquiao make better decisions. And sometimes, when he reads his old articles, Dave smiles, because every criticism he wrote in those articles now contributes to Pacquiao's improvement. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," says the old proverb. But Dave and Pacquiao's story taught something more beautiful. Sometimes your biggest enemy can become your greatest friend if you both have the courage to see beyond the fight. Dave's favorite moment was after Pacquiao's last fight. Pacquiao had won, but his performance wasn't perfect. In the locker room, while everyone was congratulating him, Dave came over and said, "We need to work on your footwork. It was sloppy tonight." Pacquiao had laughed. "See, this is why I need you, Dave. Everyone else tells me what I want to hear. You tell me what I need to hear." "That's what friends do," Dave had said. And it really was. After 15 years of enmity, they would spend the rest of their lives in friendship. Because sometimes the strongest friendships are born from the greatest conflicts. On Dave's desk now sit 2 photographs. The first is a printout of his first Pacquiao criticism article from 2008. The second is a photo of the two of them embracing after Pacquiao's last fight. Between the 2 photographs are 15 years. But actually, those 15 years were the time needed for them to find each other. Because the best friendships come from unexpected places. And sometimes the person who will change your life is the last person you expect. If you think the Hero Corner stories deserve to be continued, don't forget hit the subscribe button.